and it generates an annual income of over 100k. So all in all, a great deal.
The idea of purchasing a block of flats was something that I thought I would never be able to do, not for at least 10 years at least or something.
And return on investment of 110%, so all in all, very happy with that.
Kind of having the opportunity and the confidence to go and do this has been a really, really big shift for me, and so it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes me in the future after this.
So next, over to our next two presenters, and it's actually father and son. Can we please welcome Hugh and Finn Mowat? Round of applause. Congratulations. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it is so great to be here, and we're really looking forward to tell you a bit about what we've been up to this past year. So, we're a father and son working together. I came into property second, and we've kind of both been on this massive journey this year together, and it's been great working together. It's not always been the easiest. There have been some tense moments, but it's been a really great journey. Definitely.
Great. So we invest around Leeds and the M62 corridor, and I think there's a story here in itself, because when I started, there was about a 2-mile square radius that I was looking at in Leeds, and I got to know that area really well. And I think that was a really useful first step, because I didn't know where to invest. And I think having a reference point, so every time I buy a property now, it's actually how does it compare with those first ones? And the first one is always the hardest, so that was really useful. So have got a portfolio of single lets, but this was in the last 2 years before we started Mastermind, and we got up to 8 single lets. And I'll go on to talk about how that started in a minute. So I work full-time in a corporate. To be honest, I work kind of time and a half, because I work for a business with millions of customers, with hundreds of thousands of workers, colleagues, and with hundreds of sites. So it is really busy. It tends to be 7 days a week, and all hours. So having no time has actually been an advantage for me, because the little tiny bit of time, 5 minutes a day, one job a day, has been so precious that I've given that all the focus I can, and I've really planned what I can do in that short window of time. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and so I joined Mastermind kind of straight out of school. I started a gap year, not really knowing what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to set up a business, was thinking about doing a bit of travelling, but then I got the invite to come on Mastermind Accelerator kind of as a guest, and knowing nothing about property, I was mind blown within 3 days, and I fell in love with property. And so this year, I've kind of had the opposite situation, where I've had loads of time, I've had loads of opportunity to learn and grow and get loads of new experiences, which has just been great. I really didn't want to go to uni. University just didn't really appeal to me. I was never really a fan of school. So I've now got the opportunity not to go to uni. I pulled out my application, which it felt really good to do, because this is what I want to be doing in the future. I love business. I love being my own boss. So that's been really great.
Great. So reason why is a funny one. So I'm into self-development, and I love reading books. And I came across, it's been a bit of a treasure hunt really, because often books recommend another book. And I read this book called Property Magic, Simon's book. And the concept is that property can be magic because it grows in value, the rentals grow, and at the same time, the debt that you've taken on is getting smaller, and that's the magic of it. And when I read that book, it was a really mind-bending kind of moment, and I just thought, this is such a fantastic thing, and that's what got me started to do those first single lets. And to be really honest, I thought if you can do that with reading a book that's costing $6.99 or whatever, then what can you do on a course? So that's why I wanted to come on the course, and Finn came with me.
Yeah, and so we've both really always wanted to have our own businesses. I tried to set up my first business at the age of 13. Didn't go so well, but I learned a lot, and it really just caused a drive in me to go out and do my own thing, and that's what I'm able to do now. And in the future, I have more ideas for businesses, and so I'm really looking forward to all the opportunities that this course has opened up for me.
And I've always wanted to have my own business, but I'm catching up, so.
So, our first case study. This is my first ever deal. This was really exciting for me, a big first step. At the age of 18, having my own rental property, that felt was really, really good to me. So, it's not a big deal. It's a one-bed end of terrace, purchase price of $45,000. However, the real kicker is that the market value is $60,000, which is 25% below market value, which means that after a remortgage, I can get all my money out, which is perfect for someone like me who doesn't have a full-time job and can't really afford much myself. Came tenanted, we've got a letting agent who's renting it out, so really it's perfect for me because this is a great learning opportunity. And there's also an opportunity to get a beam adjusted to make it 2 beds, which will increase the value even more, so I can get more money out to then go ahead and invest further in the future. To do this, I got a £10,000 investor loan from a family member, just by talking to them about it, informing them about what I could do with a bit of money. I then got a loan that I'm going to give them interest on. That feels really good to be able to do that for someone who I care about. And then the rest of that money comes from bridging, which means that 6 months after I purchased this, I can remortgage it and get all money out and maybe more, which in my book sounds like a perfect deal.
Okay, so this deal, we've called it Fox's Biscuits, and that's the nickname in our house because it's actually just opposite the Fox's Biscuits factory. So there is a box of biscuits circulating in the room. They actually were made in the factory opposite this house, so of interest. So this is the first kind of block of flats we've bought. So this was moving on from single lets into bigger things. It is just an ordinary house. It's been converted into flats, so nothing that special. And it was on a estate agent website, so that's how we got it off Rightmove. And one of my problems is time, so the opportunity for doing a viewing during the week is just, it doesn't exist. So without Finn, I couldn't have done this because Finn has done all the viewings. Still haven't been there, still haven't seen it yet. So purchased it for $165, and it generates from the 3 flats an annual profit after costs of $7,500. And this one, it was a real struggle to complete. It just took ages, slightly frustrating. We had to reapply for the mortgage, extend the mortgage offer. So we had to extend the mortgage offer, which was quite stressful. And we have just got the keys, so it's kind of exciting times to see how it is inside. It's got lovely old features, but it does need a little bit of work doing to it. So that's that one. So the next one we'll talk about is what Simon describes as a mega deal. Now, I listen very carefully. It's one of my super skills, is listening and absorbing. And Simon talked about mega deals, and he said the point of a mega deal is that there's not many people who want to buy them, and therefore you've got more chance of doing a good deal. So I really twigged on that, and I wrote down on my goals, I want to do a mega deal. So this one came about when, and if I describe it actually. So can you see the stone building? There is an old pub, and it doesn't go to the modern bit, but it's an old pub, and then the big glass feature on the side is part of the deal as well. So the deal is the pub, which has got 13 flats in it, and the side bit as well. And underneath, we've done a purchase option for the commercial units. So this deal came about when I was at a PIN meeting, and just going to PIN meetings for me was quite strange because I didn't feel comfortable having a job and doing something else. I just didn't think that was allowed, but there are no rules about that. And it was actually Andy Haynes. He can give a very hard stare sometimes. And he gave me this hard stare and he said, you just got to get over yourself. And so I started going to pin meetings and I stood up to do my 20-second pitch. And I asked, does anyone in the room know of people with blocks of flats to sell? And the person in front in the audience at the break, they turned round and they said, I know of someone with a block of flats. And that was quite a shock that actually it worked. So that was great. And I asked this person, I said, so what's in it for you? Is there any, why are you offering me this? He said, well, I'll put one condition on it. And I thought, oh God, what's going to come? He said, the condition is that I become your agent and rent it out. Now, in my head, I was thinking, well, I haven't got an agent in this area, so that is just what I need. So I tried to look as though that was a big offer that I'd have to consider. But actually, in my head, I was going, brilliant. So you've just given me two things now. So that's that. So the retail units, we originally agreed a purchase price of 1.2. The valuation came in lower, so we renegotiated. That's, again, something I learned from Mastermind. We got an option for the commercial units for 500k. And there's a parking and there's all sorts of things if you drive through under the building, and there's some garages there that have got an opportunity to convert as well. So we've got some vendor finance, which is great, and this helps us do the deal. They've not asking for interest, so that's even better. And it generates an annual income of over 100k. So all in all, a great deal. I would like to give a special thank you to one of my fellow masterminders, Sobia, because Sobia came with me to see this deal originally, and I don't think I'd be brave enough to think that I could do a deal this big. So really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, so no money down, that's good.
So, future deals. I've actually just agreed to purchase a block of flats, some studio flats for 300,000, which is a really big mindset shift that I've had to have before this, because 12 months ago, I would not have thought I could have done this at all, even 6 months ago, really. The idea of purchasing a block of flats was something that I thought I would never be able to do, not for at least 10 years at least or something. So kind of having the opportunity and the confidence to go and do this has been a really, really big shift for me, and so it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing where that takes me in the future after this.
Okay, and I'm looking at portfolios. We talked about that this morning. And again, that was something that Simon talked about. There are landlords due to retire. So I've really twigged on that one, and I'm going to do everything I can to seek out landlords who are retiring. So this is just a summary of all the deals we've done. So you can see the first 4 are single lets. And some of those were in my pipeline. I did do them on Mastermind, but that was the sort of thing I was doing. And then you can see in the left-hand column, the number of units grows as we're expanding our mindset and doing more things. In all, we're due to get a profit of 12k a month. So that is quite a big number for the year, which is great. And I did joke last weekend that actually it meets the target that I wrote, and I wish I'd written a bigger number on my for my goals. And return on investment of 110%. So all in all, very happy with that. And the Mastermind program, you could argue, has paid for itself over and over and over again. And so that's great.
So some top tips. My first top tip is to take action now. I spent a lot of this past year not taking action now, putting it off. And so really going forwards, it's still something that everyone struggles with, even when you know this yourself, but just taking action now. Get out of your comfort zone. Being up here is completely out of my comfort zone, but I know that it's going to be good long term. Doing viewings, making phone calls, that was a big, massive step for me. I spent about 6 months last year before Mastermind putting off making an optician appointment, so I was slowly getting more and more blinds, which wasn't great. But just the mindset to be able to get out of your comfort zone, that is really important to be able to do bigger and better things. And also network. The people that I've met just in this room, it's been really, really valuable. The support that I've received and the encouragement right from the start, I couldn't have asked for anything better. And going out, going to pin meetings, doing more networking, it's really just been vital for everything that we've done.
Okay, so in terms of my top tips, so goals, really big one. Write down your goals, be clear on them. Read them every day. I have a book on my the chest of drawers where I get dressed in the morning, and I read my goals every day, every morning. And then last thing at night, I'm thinking about them, and I'm really focused on them. And I've got a little secret here. So being into self-development, I've been into goal setting for quite some time. And Simon talks about goal setting as part of this program, and it is a really important feature. I'm not sure whether I think it's really magic, and Simon talks about the property magic being the finances, but I think the magic of goal setting is there as well. So this is the book that I've written down my goals over several years, and it's magic because if I write them down in this book, they come true. Not always exactly on time, but they always come true. And I bought this book from a magic shop. So there's a shop in my town. If you walk past it, you'd never see it. The name is Smith, W.H. Smith, yeah? And so you don't, it doesn't say it's magic, but in the back of the shop, they sell these books, and you can write in them. And because no one knows, like the muggles that you were talking about, yeah, if you don't know the stuff. So when you're at the checkout, yeah, if you wink at the person selling you the book to know, I know this is a magic book, yeah, they are so well trained, yeah, they will just deadpan you, and they won't acknowledge that it's a magic book, but it is. And so that is the magic of writing goals, which all fits with what we've been doing. So just to finish, we'd like to thank everyone in this room for being such a supportive group, and it's been a fantastic journey, really appreciate it. We'd like to thank Andy for leading the group and all the other coaches that we've had. We've had 2 personal coaches, so that has been excellent, really, really valuable every month. And also thanks Simon for setting up this whole program. And I know you're going on to educate other people, but why don't they teach this stuff at school? I wish they did. Thank you, everyone, and it's been great. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you, Finn. That's great. Wow, what an amazing case study. And I can't believe you're giving away all the secrets about the magic book and the winking. So just forget that if you heard that at home. It's not true, really. I do hope you got massive value from watching this YouTube video. I'd encourage you to click on the link below to come and do the online training with me. And I've got another video lined up for you, which I think is also going to be really useful that you should watch once you've registered for the online training with me. So invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I'll see you very soon.